presume that many of you may not be very comfortable in Hindi because you are coming from across the country. And I also assume that many of you may not be as comfortable in English as in Hindi. So I'll try to reach out to you in both the languages, interspersing my speech on the topic given to me, New Directions to Higher Education. I take a cue from Sri Aurobindo, who, in his book, Genius of India, on which I made a film, stresses that the illiterate artisan is making big temples and structures, sculpting them without knowing the trigonometry, without knowing the geometry, without knowing the center of gravity, and that is the genius of India. So education per se is not only through literacy. To give you a very mundane example, when I went in 1986 to Japan, I found that I am illiterate. I couldn't even find a place to eat because I didn't know what to eat. Then I went to a mall and there were jars full of serpents and different kinds of creatures, and they were just taking it out and cooking it, serving. So it made me, I got abhorred, and therefore I thought that I would rather go to some place. And then I saw one place where there was a plate in which rice or a chicken leg piece was depicted. So every day I would go to there and just point it out, give me this, and I would eat. So all my education, all my PhD, all my international travel, everything was just flat. I was working in National Institute of Education for about a period of 3 weeks. There we could communicate in English, but not on the streets. So education is not equal to literacy or the language competency. Number one. Since we are talking about new directions in higher education, let me first begin with how does a child learn. The process of learning of a child is through process of imitation. Not only child, every species learns by imitation. My child learns Hindi, somebody else's child learns Tamil, another Telugu, another French, by process of imitation. Even the child walks on 2 legs by imitating. So, the most natural way of making children learn is that your behavior, you as a teacher, your behavior is learnable. So you modify your own behavior. That is the first principle of learning. The child imitates. My young friends, lady friends here are there. Madam, if you ask your child, a small child, I hope you have a child of 3, 4 years, 5 years? No? All right, let us assume that someone of you, and you just tell that your teacher has told you wrong. The way the child reacts is phenomenal. Teacher can never be wrong. Therefore, the first thing is that are we producing in teacher education institutions people who are worth being imitated? Are we ourselves in our own way, by way of our behavior, by way of our talk, by way of our personality? Are we such people who could be a model for being imitated? So this is the first. I am just giving you a background, and I will talk to. Then I'll talk to you about emerging scenarios. The second thing is the natural style of learning, therefore, of a child, young child, is by process of imitation. When you grow old and you are exposed to larger environment, then comes the stage of learning by suggestion. That is the after primary, you can say, that teacher says this is right, this is wrong. So you do this, you do that. Again, teacher is infallible. If teacher has told you that this is wrong, you will tell your children that no, this is not right. He will say, no, teacher has told me that this is right, and therefore. So the teacher in teacher education, the second most important concern is that are we producing the teachers who are, one, worth being imitated, number two, who are proficient so that they can justify the faith of their students who say the teacher can never be wrong. So this has all been. Are you all right, sir? Are you all right? Right. Are you okay? No problem? All right. So, you see, the pedagogy is teacher-centric. The teacher tells and the learner learns. And teacher is assisted by textbooks and other teaching learning aids, whatever it is. But you tell a grown-up person like me, who is 82 years old, and you tell me though that this is this, and I will challenge you because I think that I am more experienced than you, right? So you cannot tell me like in classroom, you cannot teach me as you do in your classroom in class 5 or class 6 or class 8. This calls for a different kind of approach of making elders learn, and that is called andragogy. Pedagogy, and this is andragogy. In andragogy, the style is learning together. You feign that you don't know, and you and the learner tries to discover knowledge, and the learner feels that he or she has discovered knowledge. Oh, I have learned it from this kind of experiences. The teacher might have managed or manipulated a situation in which that kind of learning takes place. So andragogy, the teacher takes a participatory approach. It is called participatory learning. So these are the 2-3 kinds of parameters in education. Now what is happening today? With the explosion of digital literacy, digital information systems, so many things, the authority of teacher as the one who could be imitated or whose dictums could be taken as a truth and only truth is fading. The emerging situation is That every day you have something on YouTube, you have something on Google, you have something, various platforms are coming with new knowledge, all the new knowledge, most recent knowledge which the teacher might himself be not aware of. Somebody was quoting a book published in 2002. It is 20 years back. What is the situation now? Right? So many researches have happened, even in our Vedic literature. So, what I am trying to tell, that knowledge is exploding at such a fast pace and at such a rate with so many sources of knowledge that teacher is no more the only, I would say, custodian of all knowledge. And teacher is being challenged. So what is the method of teaching in the emerging situation? You don't have to stand like this, like me. I am talking, you are listening, you are not questioning. So the best way would be for me to come down and sit with you and say, let's find out what on this topic, what the Google has. All right, you take out the computer and you search for that topic and you get some information. Okay, is there something on this on Facebook also? So the students and the teacher, they themselves are trying to find out what is the latest, what is the new. So this andragogical method, the method of learning together, is going to be the future of the teaching learning process. It is very difficult for people in the universities and B.Ed colleges who are tuned to pedagogic method of teaching. Taking notes, giving notes, prescribing textbooks. This will all go away in next 10 years. This will be irrelevant because much knowledge, the explosion of knowledge, the pace of explosion of knowledge would be much faster. It's not only geometrical proportion, it will be like explosion. So teacher is no more what he has made notes of, what he has read in textbook. All right, that is a base. I do not deny that that's knowledge. But ever exploding knowledge has to be acquired. And he has also to acknowledge that he doesn't know a particular topic. For example, I will give you some. The information in black hole, about black hole, that was available 5 days back. What new changes have come? Let us find out. So if I am an astrophysicist and I have studied the phenomena of black hole through some books, and then I am trying to explain, and then some child brings out this is the latest, sir. So in the future we are going to emerging challenge. Now this is the challenge that we teacher educators are going to face. What are we doing in this regard? Are we revising our curriculum, our pedagogy, or revising our methods of teaching and this and that you have? You go into classroom and take the B.Ed students are taking class, and then you are doing learning by doing and all kinds of things. But is it relevant in the present context? Is it going to be relevant in the next 10 years? So the andragogical method, that is learning together, is going to be the basic. Now even take the example of Nipun Bharat. Now, only 3 days back, Prime Minister announced that Nipun Bharat, a scheme, which textbook or which pedagogic method do you have to create a clientele of people who could be Nipun in their own area? No textbook has been written on Nipun Bharat. No textbook has been written on skilling India. These are the things, emerging things. And what we are going to do, we are going to take learning by doing. Yes, learning by doing is applicable to Nipun Bharat. But we as teacher educators, are we making our students, learners, to adapt to this kind of emerging needs? So the syllabus that we have in B.Ed and M.Ed has to be very evolving and enabling the learner, the teacher, to innovate himself, to keep pace with the development. And therefore, what is that method? As of now, it is the method of learning together along with this learner, through use of information technology and artificial intelligence and IT. So there are two kinds of sets of, I would say, behavioral changes that need to be made into a B.Ed learner or even the B.Ed teacher, that you are able to handle the digital device in a manner that you can explore the latest in the knowledge, number one. Number two, that you are able to adapt this device into newer schemes. For example, there is Skilling India, right? Skilling India involves a lot of skill transfer to the learner in various sectors of skills: carpet weaving, Banarsi sari weaving, this and that, pattern. So, how do you change your teaching learning approach so that this makes a change? I will give you a small example. You may be aware, many people who know me may be aware that I am one of those people who started non-formal education in this country. I am the one who made education, who made a proposition which resulted into education being brought into the concurrent list of the Constitution. So these are some of the. I started a non-formal education center with weaving. All illiterate children, nothing like a loom or etc. So I put 4 pillars, small pillars here, and one here, and nails, कील गाड़ दिया, और बच्चों को कहा कि बेटा ये नीले रंग का ऐसे चलाओ, लाल रंग का ऐसे चलाओ. अब बच्चे ने जब चलाया तो 4 से नीला गया और उसके बाद हरा गया. तो मैंने उससे कहा कि अगर यही दोबारा बनाना हो तो कैसे करोगे? तो इसको लिख लो, काना में नीला गया. अब वो 4 नीला लिखना पहले से सीखा, बजाय इसके कि ल और ई की मात्रा, ल और ई आखिरी. मैं इस तरह के अप्रोच से काफ़ी सक्सेसफुल रहा. यूनाइटेड नेशंस हेडक्वार्टर्स से लोग आए देखने के लिए उन सब प्रोजेक्ट्स को. That apart, and without making any fuss about all those things, I had to face the challenge from within the NCERT itself. उन्होंने कहा कि तुमने नीला कैसे सिखा दिया, बड़ा न और ये अलग अलग करके सिखाना है तुमको. How are you going to नी और ला तुमने एक साथ सिखा दिया. क सिखाया नहीं, ल सिखा दिया। अब वो सारी बातें हुई, हमने कहा कि हमने तो सिखा दिया, और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे वो ल को पहले पहचानेगा, क को पहले पहचानेगा, ये पहचानने की, ये आप डिस्कस करते रहिए। मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है, without going to what happened after that and how it happened, तो you will have to fight with the system. जो हमारे established methodology, pedagogical concepts हैं, you may have to challenge them, and you may also like to consider that what is the demand of the society, present day society. I'm not going into the value system, etc., because that's not the topic that I am given today. I can speak on those things separately. But I think that the present day challenge to higher education is, number one, the teacher should change his attitude and methodology from giving lectures to learning together, participatory learning. Number one, all higher education. I have made some. I would say a movement has started in Delhi University in this regard. I thought I have told the Vice Chancellor and other people that you should train your physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, English teachers in participatory learning rather than lecture method. And that is going to happen. It has happened, it is happening in other countries. It will come to you, because that will be a kind of a compulsion with knowledge exploding in digital domain so very fast. The B.Ed, the teacher education colleges and the faculty in this will also have to sit up and look what they are doing, what is relevant. Take for example, I'll give you one more example, a small example. आपने किताब में पढ़ाया सदा सच बोलो, ठीक? परीक्षा में पूछ दिया कि क्या सच बोलना जरूरी है? हर बच्चे ने कहा हाँ, आपने उसको दोनों कर दिया। और बच्चा बाहर निकल करके उसने देखा कि किसी का पैसा गिरा है, उठा लिया, उसने कहा किसका है? क्या मेरा है, राइट? तो क्या वो बच्चा पास हो गया था जिसको हमने 2 नंबर दे दिए शुरू में? ये लर्न नॉलेज और बिहेवियर मॉडिफिकेशन, एजुकेशन में बिहेवियर मॉडिफिकेशन एक इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है। जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, डिजिटल डिवाइस एंड एक्सप्लोडिंग डिजिटल वर्ड्स एंड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तो ये सारी चीज़ें जो आ रही हैं, ये चीज़ें इस बात को से आपको वो कराएंगी, 2 बात उसको आपको ये बताएंगी कि आप अपने बच्चों को अगर इसमें प्रोफिशिएंट कर देते हैं तो एज फार एज नॉलेज कंपोनेंट इज कंसर्न इट इज देयर। मगर शिक्षा के 2 पहलू होते हैं, एक होता है नॉलेज जो हम जानते हैं, और दूसरा होता है उस नॉलेज को ट्रांसफ़र करना अपने बिहेवियर में, अपनी पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट में। ये 2 अलग चीज़ें हैं। मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि अगर सॉरी सर, जब समय हो जाए तब बता दीजिएगा, 4-5 मिनट से। ऐसा है कि आपने परीक्षा में पूछ लिया प्रश्न, उसने उत्तर दे दिया और उसके बिहेवियर में कोई चेंज नहीं आया। ये क्यों होता है? वो इसलिए होता है कि इट इज टेल दैट इज ट्विस्टिंग द डॉग। कुत्ते को उसकी दुम घुमा रही है। क्यों? हमने कहा परीक्षा जो है वही बताएगी आपको कि अगर आप पढ़े हो कि नहीं पढ़े हो। 100 में 100 पा गए तो है, मगर आपने सीखा या उससे आपके पर्सनालिटी में कोई चेंज आया कि नहीं आया, ये इससे कोई मतलब नहीं। परीक्षा पद्धति को भी बदलना पड़ेगा, परीक्षा पद्धति को भी बदलना पड़ेगा। तो अब जो है, अभी तक हम लोग क्या करते थे कि लर्निंग आउटकम बेस्ड था। आप लोग जो लोग एजुकेशन में हैं वो जानते होंगे कि लर्निंग आउटकम नापते थे हम, क्या लर्न किया। अब हमको कोई ऐसी तरकीब का बिहेवियरल आउटकम कैसे हो, उसका बिहेवियर कैसे चेंज हुआ, वो चेंज हुआ कि नहीं हुआ। तो वो जांचने के लिए, चूंकि हमारे पास यंत्र नहीं है, हम CBSE के पास कोई यंत्र नहीं है कि आप अच्छे इंसान बन गए कि नहीं बन गए, ये नहीं नाप सकते। तो उन्होंने कहा चलो पूछ लेते हैं अच्छे इंसान का गुण क्या होता है, वो लिख देगा तो हम मान लेंगे क्या नहीं। तो वो यंत्र बनाना है, और वो वन टाइम नहीं होगा, वो सस्टेन्ड होगा। आप बराबर ऑब्जर्व करते रहेंगे कि उसका बिहेवियर मॉडिफिकेशन कैसे होता जा रहा है, उस पर होगा। उसकी वजह क्या है, वो क्यों नहीं हो रहा है कि टीचर पर ट्रस्ट नहीं है, टीचर पर विश्वास नहीं हो रहा है कि टीचर जो है पैसा लेके नंबर दे देगा और ये करेगा। तो फिर यहाँ आ जाता है कि टीचर बिहेवियर मॉडिफिकेशन। तो ये चक्र जो है बड़ा बुरा चक्र है। तो दोनों तरफ, एक तो ये है कि आप अपने क्वालिटी टीचर एजुकेशन में ऐसे टीचर को पैदा करें जिनके की चरित्र और उनके व्यवहार को बच्चा देख करके इमिटेट करके सीख सके, नंबर 1। दूसरा ये कि अब हायर एजुकेशन में जो टीचर हैं वो चाक टाक एंड लेक्चर मेथड से हट करके लेटेस्ट डिस्कवर नॉलेज वाले अप्रोच से, पार्टिसिपेटरी लर्निंग से, जिसको हम एंड्रोलॉजिकल, अपने थोड़ा सा कभी कभी मन करता है कोई ऐसा भाषा, ऐसा शब्द घुसा दो कि लोग समझ न पाएँ और बार बार हमसे पूछे कि क्या है। तो इसीलिए मैं बता रहा हूँ उनको कि एंड्रोलॉजिकल मेथड्स को लेकर करें। तो यही अब फ्यूचरोलॉजी ऑफ एजुकेशन है। आप में से कोई मुझे मिला था, वो कह रहा था कि मेरा यूट्यूब चैनल वो देखता है, 5-7 यूट्यूब पर भी हैं कुछ इसी तरह के अलग अलग टॉपिक पर। तो कभी देख लीजिएगा, अगर कोई मौका लगे तो आप लोगों को अच्छा लगेगा तो ठीक है। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, sir. Now this session is open for the discussion. So all of you have any question you can ask the resource persons for this session, and please feel free to ask any question. I request Vikas Januji to help the participant with the mic so they can ask the question. Come on, we are research scholars here. We should have some question. या तो सब समझ में आ गया है, जरूरत ही नहीं है।
दो तरह के लोग प्रश्न नहीं पूछते। एक तो वो जिनको बहुत बुद्धिमान है, सब समझ गए। दूसरे वो जिनको कुछ नहीं समझ में आया, सोचते हैं कि अगर कुछ पूछेगा तो फिर ये दोबारा हमको बोर करेगा। तो
जी सर, थैंक यू सर। मेरा नाम राहुल है और फैकल्टी ऑफ एजुकेशन कामाख्या से आया हूँ।